Hello guys, welcome back. We are now ready for the next run, which is RE7, New Game Plus PC by Peralt. We're going to throw it over to them and then get you guys ready to start the run. So on to you guys.
Hi guys, I'm Peralt, speedrunner of Resident Evil games. RE7 has been my speed game of choice for the last few weeks and months. And I'm joined today by the lovely Moonrunes V2 for commentary.
Hey everyone, I'm also a runner for Resident Evil 7, Easy New Game Plus, same category, so hopefully I can provide some insight while we go through the game today and have a good time.
Okay, so shall we get ready to go? Oh, okay, so I'll give a countdown then. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, baby! I just wanted to send a quick hello and I love you. Oh, good news! I'm gonna be coming home soon. Yay!
So this is Mia, who I'm sure you all know.
To be done with this babysitting job and come home to my loving husband.
We all gotta love Mia.
Team Mia.
What a
oh yeah.
team Mia indeed.
I love you,
Which is a contentious point within the community, I might have to add.
That's putting it mildly.
It's always a fun one. So I think one of the first things to point out about RE7 is the fact that we do have to watch the cutscenes. There is no skippable cutscenes. So get used to seeing the whole story. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go on a wild emotional ride through the Baker household, guys.
I did lie to you. I shouldn't have.
I'm gonna try not to do the voice lines.
All I can say.
Try.
No, you gotta dive head first in.
Stay.
So yeah, I think first of all we need to ask chat which team they're on. Are you Team Zoe or Team Mia? That's the big question because we got to see which way we're swinging here.
If you're Team Zoe, I'll cry. Just saying.
Me too. I'm a huge Mia fanboy.
Hey, it's Ethan.
I've got a lot of love for Ethan as well. I think he's one of my favourite
Yeah,
protagonists
no,
of the series.
It's Mia. She's not dead. She's alive.
Yeah, one of the strengths of this speedrun is the cast as a whole. I feel, especially just along the lines of everything, it was a really strong outing by Capcom to reboot the RE6 series after the game we do not speak about.
I know.
But yeah. So some interesting points about RE7 is when Capcom rebooted the series after RE6, they decided to go first person, which makes this a unique and interesting speedrun in the RE7 community. It's really different. And I think it's an attraction point for a lot of new runners to this game, which is awesome. But you're about to get control pair, so
Yep.
I'll leave you to talk through the start bit.
Running through the creepy woods. Nice car, Ethan. Don't get me started on that yet.
This is the place.
What's wrong with Ethan's car? Do we not like it? Are we good? Are we fans of it?
Well, Semtech seems to like it. Team Katie O'Hagan, most definitely. So yeah, we're running through the woods on the way to the house to try and find Mia, who sent us a mysterious email asking us to come and get her, and it's all going to go downhill from here.
Yeah, it's a really weird email to get from somebody who disappeared 3 years ago. And there's a lot of questions to be answered about why Ethan does what he does. I feel like there's some plot holes that we need to try and figure out as a team today, guys, as to why he just doesn't phone the police and, leaves them to it.
I mean, I would probably have called the police and the FBI and the Avengers to help me out before running headlong into a scary house like this, but hey ho. Okay.
Also, for anyone who runs this game for more than a couple of months, will find that you get so used to seeing this bit, it basically becomes the whole game. So infamously, this start section is known as Guest House. It's a very intro to the game. And for those people who have an optimized time, this game is insanely optimized to a ridiculous degree for such a long game, considering the run's about an hour and a half long. It's a really optimized run. So basically, there's nowhere to hide in it, and even losing a few seconds at the start is actually a death to your run for anybody who's competing for close to world record time. So you'll find this is Reset City here, but hopefully we know resets today from Pear as we go in.
Hopefully not.
Just seen you do the retry. Do you want to go through the retry, Pear?
Yeah, so the first retry there was basically speed boost to make sure that dear old Ethan doesn't stay really, really slow. And then we've just done the dropping down to 30 FPS a minute ago when we were going through that little hole, just so that we could slide through there a bit quicker.
Yeah, so the technical background between it is Ethan has two running states for the resets. One of them is an outdoor running state and an indoor running state. We find that as we transition load zones, that if you retry exactly the right moment, and we get to do it like twice or 2 or 3 times in the run, Ethan maintains the quicker outside running state as you advance through the house. And also, this game has weird things with 30 FPS in hitboxes, so Ethan's hitbox down at 30 FPS becomes super slippery, and he can just get through small holes really quickly, which is a good talent to have. He'd be a great bank robber.
Can I quickly just hop in with a donation?
Yeah.
We have Urkamis Mia, hopefully I said that right, with $5 saying, put in money to this vote, Team Mia. So he supports Team Mia.
Oh,
Team Mia.
thank you, Arkamus.
That was some good life choices right there.
Oh, yeah.
A £5 donation and a Team Mia vote. What more could we want? Let's go, guys.
Exactly. We're going to have to get the £5 train going. Just saying.
It's Ethan.
Gonna get the choo-choos rolling in.
Oh, yeah.
You all right?
You're very good at that, Moon. So.
I'm really not.
You contacted me.
No, I wouldn't.
I think I permanently altered my voice last time.
Did I? Did anyone see you? Did he see you?
Who else is here?
So,
What the hell's going on?
oh,
Daddy's
sorry, Pep.
coming.
I
We
was
need
just
to
going to
go.
say, that line there,
need to go
Daddy's
now.
coming, I would be asking a lot of questions at that point.
Yeah. Why are you in this dingy basement saying Daddy's coming?
Taking me.
Someplace safe.
This is not what we expected.
Going on?
No.
Did get to see some infamous bolt cutters though. Iconic to the franchise.
Has it
Seen
been
those
3
before?
years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder where everyone gets this same brand from. It's pretty incredible. Must be doing well for themselves.
I
So
normally
this section-
shout at her here because she doesn't get out of the way.
Yeah, so this section is basically a giant auto scroller for the next 3 minutes. It's very it's probably if you have the patience to get past this sort of thing, then you know RE7 is the speed run for you. It's one of those things that after your 10th run in a single stream, you need to this bit starts to test you. It's a good part of the run.
I always wonder what they are. Are they like eggs?
Mia, we have to talk.
There's so many stuff. There's so many things in this basement that
Yeah.
you're just
It
like,
wasn't me.
Ugh.
there's so many things wrong here. Like, where do you even start? Although I do like the fact that they decided to add can physics. I one day hope that one of those cans is gonna ping me out of bounds. just for the meme. I think they're like bags of meat, but I don't actually know.
They're a bit minging, aren't they?
Mia.
Just ugh.
Are you sure you know where you're going?
Human
I probably
meat.
wouldn't shove one in my mouth.
Food through here. I remember.
Oh, come on, Mia, hurry up. No
Yeah,
saying
so
that
this bit
doesn't-
lasts 2 or 3 minutes. The whole guest house as a whole should take about 15 to 17 minutes, depending on what sort of time. I really like world record, world optimized run is probably aiming for a low 15 coming out of here,
This is
which is pretty crazy in my eyes. I think I've never even got close to that level. It was always a
No.
lot of fun.
I remember this room.
I tend to get
Just-
about 17 minutes-ish most times.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There's a few tricks you can do with the bosses, but they're incredibly frame dependent. Unfortunately, this game does have a small-ish pay-to-win aspect. I guess is probably a little bit of a contentious point to say that about this game. It's not really pay-to-win, but you can do it on lower frames. It's just a lot easier. The more frames you have, the easier it is,
Yeah.
and it's all to do with this game's melee mechanics. I don't know if anybody's played the remakes of the game, but they have similar issues where knife damage is sort of tied to frame rate. With this, we get an axe, and the axe damage, and also clipping issues, basically allow us to hit for insane amounts of damage. And if you get it just right, you can one-shot both of the Mia bosses, which are coming up now. Peralt's got control again as we wander
Yeah.
back up into the
Now,
house.
I am locked into 60 FPS because I'm running on my laptop, so you're not going to see crazy, one-shots, unfortunately. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. It's one of those things that it's almost impossible when you drop down. It's one of those. It's just one of those things to do with the game. It's one of the quirk of the game. But yeah, it's interesting to see 60 FPS strats. It's like the same with RE2R, where 60 FPS strats are really different from 120 FPS strats. So we're going to see a little bit of a variation on probably what you'd expect from a standard
Yeah.
Game Plus run.
Like the Jack fight coming up in a bit, I do a lot different to most people who would use, variable FPS, because trying to do it like they would, it just doesn't work very well. So.
I can hear her. I can feel her clawing her way back inside of me. Get out!
So this little bit here, you run it Mia here just to save yourselves a bit of time. The reason we run into the bathroom, Pear picked up a heal for safety there, and you also hit a trigger point going into that bathroom before we run back down the stairs. So it's a nice little segment to do. It's a quick safety heal you can pick up. As we go into, they're not really boss fights, I would say. They are boss fights, but they're kind of like
Kind
pseudo
of.
boss fights. Kind of like, yeah, it's like a 0.5 and a 1 between the two of them. Makes up a little boss fight, but here we
come on,
go.
Mia.
I'll wish you good luck and leave you to concentrate here while you do the setup.
I'm really bad at getting her to stand up, so of course she's not going to behave.
So what Pear's trying to do here, she's trying to hit an exact point, which will trigger an animation we want out of Mia, where she will stand up as quickly as possible. So Mia has the shortest time, and so we're just kind of waiting for that shortest possible time to get her to stand up.
Come on.
And it's really finicky. There's very specific setups you can do, but if you get out of position, that's it. You kind of just
You're stuck.
it's just like run around her feet and hope for the best.
Yeah, like just tell her her cooking sucks. I think I'll do that, Cap. Wow, she doesn't want to play. She did it perfectly for me earlier. Oh, come on.
So you got a PB. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That took a long time to get below the 140 mark. So
Wow,
Wow.
she's really not playing ball here, is she?
She's not,
Holy
is
moly.
she?
Damn. I don't
There
think
we
I've ever
go.
seen her be this stubborn.
she knows.
She's just passed out. She was having a nap, guys. She won't come up. She was like, get the hell out of here, Ethan. I'm having a nap. Go get me some breakfast.
Sweet.
So what Peralt's looking for in this fight is a specific animation. It seemed to go pretty well. The actual fight itself, 3 hits, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah.
I was a little bit behind.
If you hit the block button at the right time, you don't punch her in the face, do you? So
Yeah, no, it's all about getting that quick axe to the net, just to get that really quick one out of the way. But yeah, so that's Mio 0.5 down. We're doing her in good time there, and now we're going to the next trigger point where we wait and we meet everybody's worst nightmare, Zoe.
Can I help
Right,
him with some? Sorry, can I just help him with some more donations?
yeah,
Okay, so we have $25 from Lamey71. So thank you for the $25. And we also have G Monday with $5 saying choo choo. Woohoo.
Thanks.
So hopping on the choo choo train. And as Twitch chat has noticed, that has made us reach $4,100. So massive amounts of money helping out Crisis. So thank you all for your donations.
Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, GG guys. Let's get 20k. Let's go.
Right now.
Everyone go to the back of the sofa. Go find some change. 20k,
You know
we
what?
got this.
I've just made a mistake. I went up there and I haven't even got the fuse yet.
Oh yeah, go get the fuse.
That's quite important,
So-
isn't it?
So what we got to do here is Peralt skipped a little step there. We've got to go grab a fuse first, where we run down to this little cabinet, and then we go to a fuse box. And we trigger quite an infamous scene where Ethan kind of gets. It's like the start of where you start seeing you start noticing stuff's going wrong with Mia, and he doesn't know what's going on. So the story really the plot kind of thickens at this point, where if everything else wasn't messed up enough. You really start to notice it now.
We're going to start seeing the differences between the Steam version, the European version, and the Japanese version in a minute as well. So
Are we on Zero D?
we are.
Oh, nice. Okay. Do you want to talk about some of the differences for Zero D?
Yeah, so this is the first one. In the non-Zero D version, he gets a screwdriver through the hand, and in this he gets a garden fork, a very nice garden fork, through the wrist. He won't get his hand cut off in a minute, which is it was really bizarre to watch. And yeah, we don't see decapitation or anything like that, so it saves quite a bit of time, especially later on.
Yeah, there's one point later on where instead of getting stuck in a whole animation where you put your arm down somebody's throat, it skips it completely and just leaves the key on the side. And I think in total the Zero D copy saves you about 28 seconds.
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's around that region. It varies from system to system, but you're looking at 30 seconds, which is a good old time save given how optimized this run is.
Right, is she gonna behave? Is the $1 million question.
So we're coming, Mia 2 now is generally another pretty heavy reset point here. If you get to this bit in, you get to it. Usually, you're looking for anybody who was running variable will be looking for the one hit, if not be a reset. Pez's gonna go and just wail. I'm not sure what strat to use, but
Wow, that's why I picked up the heal.
there we go. I just call this the booty slash fight.
There we go.
Nice, good job. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm still seeing the fight unfold, but yeah, I'm assuming that's good news.
That's good news, yeah.
Good news. Woohoo! Let's go. A fight is deceptively hard, especially when you sort of get used to getting it done quickly. She has one of 6 different moves she can do, and they're all equally varying speeds and different sort of attacks, and some of them are big AoE swipes, and some of them are very quick charges. It's really wild, this fight, casually, so good job. That's really fun.
And it's
Now
even
possibly
worse
waiting.
on Madhouse. Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh.
God. Honestly, it's put me off running Madhouse again now. I'm done.
Yeah, I've done it once to get the infinite ammo, never again.
And we just saw one of the most famous lines, I think, in the RE franchise now. Welcome to the family, son. Absolute gem, Jack is. One of my favorite characters, or villains of any game I think I've ever played. It's just the characters are so well written in this game, and we get to see a lot of it. That's one of the pluses for this speedrun, is you get to see a lot of the speedrun because of the unskippable cutscenes and stuff, and you get to feel a lot of the characters' personality and stuff.
Yeah, and you see as well, don't you, sort of how they changed to how they are as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's what I like. And I really like Jack as well. I just want to hug him.
Where am I?
Yeah, we'll be putting the Fs in chat towards the end, guys. Don't you worry.
It's time for
and I'll be crying. It's fine.
Where are you people? Where's Mia?
So next thing we've got to look out for, we've got a bit of a cutscene coming up now where we're sitting around the table with the gang, just chilling, having a beer, knocking back some intestines, as you do. And we've got Hallway Jack coming up. How are we feeling about Hallway Jack, Pear?
Oh, he absolutely ruined me earlier, so I'm not looking forward to it.
So Hallway Jack is the AI in this game is very well programmed to react to what you're doing, and it's very quick. It doesn't give you there's no like room for error. We use very specific movements in this game to make the AI do what we want, and honestly, it can be done with your sort of look rotation can be out by like 5 degrees, or your positioning can be forward by 10 to 15 pixels, and they'll just do completely different, unavoidable animations that cost you time constantly throughout the run, which is really crazy. Are we doing hallway skip? Are we going to get Jack to go through the wall, or are we just going up and around?
We'll just run at him.
Yeah.
I've never
much
managed
safer.
to get the wall skip at all.
Yeah, I find it. I don't go for wall skip. It's one of those skips that if you get the correct movement at all stages, it doesn't cost you any time. But if the second like you're not in the correct position, it just costs you time. So for the most part, it's better to just try and run past him and get back round as quickly as you can. It's literally a few seconds. It's not really worth wasting any time on.
No, so we're just gonna leg it, and hopefully he doesn't. Oh no! There you go, Jack. No, I need that. Come on. There we go.
I still have nightmares about this from when I did this at RE Marathon on Madhouse.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
So earlier on, I managed to get past him to the door, and then he just like managed to grab me somehow. I don't know how, and just threw me down the corridor, and then cut my leg off in here. So, like, no,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
So something Jack can do here is he just teleports. He's got his cheat engine open, old Jack has, and he can just teleport. He always does it on Madhouse. So the strat on Madhouse is to just crouch, because he never really does it if you crouch for some reason. But for the most part on easy, his AI is a little more relaxed, so it doesn't do it as often. And you can just sort of like, as long as he's not directly aggroed on you, or he knows where you are but isn't quite there with you, he'll just teleport in. It basically leads to about a minute-long animation of you getting your leg chopped off, and you still carry on, but it's just pure time loss.
You did good, Ethan.
So we're going to get our New Game Plus items here. So Per, I'm assuming have you got all the New Game Plus items you need?
Yeah, so we're going circular saw, infinite ammo, Albert, and the walking shoes.
Oh,
so
nice,
the whole
yeah.
full 9 yards.
The whole ensemble. So an interesting thing about this game is it's actually pretty old school in the way it does its unlockables, and most of them are locked behind game completions and stuff. So you actually have to go and do a load of prep work if you want to start running this to get all the items and stuff, which is really nice and refreshing to see. And Per picking up some safety there in the form of some combinables to get health. You saw her hit a checkpoint there, which triggers the policeman, so we can get into the next cutscene. Big F's for this guy.
He's not a very good policeman, really, is he?
I feel like you shouldn't give a guy in a house a knife, and then you shouldn't go into a bathroom or wherever he goes, into the basement.
Yeah.
Just a lot of mistakes happen here.
Yeah, leaves his back open as well, doesn't he, in a minute? And just no. Why?
I asked in chat, the EU version, does it have the leg amputation? The EU version does have the leg amputation in it, as far as I'm aware. It's been so long since I ran on that version, but I'm pretty sure it does. The EU version is actually the less censored version. So the Japanese copy, which is what Sarah D is, it's the Japanese censored version. is the more censored version. So anything you see here will also be in the European version. But it's something that even if you've only played the game casually once or twice, you might never have seen. It's one of those things that just happens randomly where he teleports and does the whole thing.
Yeah, and it can be like you think you're doing it really well, and then he'll just be there right behind you, and it's like, oh no, really?
Oh, yeah, it's basically unblockable as well. Like,
Yeah.
you just get grabbed. Like he'll teleport and grab you because he's using his hacks. So we're coming into what is lovingly referred to in the community as J1 or Jack 1. The first fight in the game. Per, you said you had a slightly different strategy for this. Do you want to walk through it quickly
Yeah,
before you get into
so basically I'm just using the circular sword for it because the Albert it's not fast enough. So what we do is we do that until he says that wonderful line there. And I don't even shoot him when he crashes the car in a minute either. I just go straight up to him, saw his leg until it explodes, and yeah, it's faster.
Nice, yeah. So the strat that Per's doing is basically a safe strat. It's really reliable. Basically, the fight is based off checkpoints, and you want to hit those checkpoints as fast as possible. For continuous DPS, the circular saw is the best weapon in the game. It's not the highest single amount of DPS, but it is the highest DPS weapon in the game for constant damage, and you'll see us use it on a lot of the boss fights coming up. But the strategy that is employed as well is to use the Albert, where you use 3 shots on the first phase, and then 1 shot to get him into the car, to stagger his animation into the car as quickly as possible, and then you use 1 shot to his head when he's about to drive. And that's I think that's the harder, and I think it's only like 2.5-3 seconds faster, if that. So this game has a high skill cap. It can be as hard as you want it to be, and you can also take it pretty safe, which is nice. It's got a lot of nice variation in the run.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna go and start picking up dog heads now, so that we can get to the next area of the game.
Yeah, interesting little thing there. You can actually start the unwinding animation of the photo frame and do the shelf at the same time, because Ethan's got those spaghetti arms and can, reach around and do everything. Bless him.
Got a lot of skills as our Ethan.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I like him. I just had a heart attack then because for some reason I thought we were doing Madhouse, and I was like, "Where are you going?" Because the routes differ here on Madhouse. I was like, "No."
Madhouse? What do you take me for? Oh.
Yeah, I just because we were talking about it before. I was like, "Oh no, where are you going? Yeah, turn around. You gotta get the coin." I just had a heart attack. So now what you're going to see us do here is Per's just going around, and basically it's the quickest way to get all the items you need to get the 3 dog heads, and to trigger this cutscene which reactivates Jack, now with new improved garden implements.
So this, if I was doing Out of Bounds, this would be where we would set that up, but because I'm still relatively new to this run, I've not learned how to do that yet, and it kind of scares me, so smash the table.
Out of Bounds is a huge sticking point for new runners. It's the hardest trick in the game to do quickly overall, and basically what it would be is here we basically turn around and shoot Jack. Obviously here he comes through the hall, just because it's the way the AI is programmed to go through there. If he's not following you behind you at that point, you will go through the wall. And what we'd be doing here is we'd be doing the shadow puzzle while Jack was still far enough away, and then we'd be lining up on a certain point on the stairway, and that would get us through. And shadow puzzles, because shadow puzzles are fun.
Well, when they go right.
There we go.
Who builds this shit?
Honestly, I've been getting out of position with shadow puzzles is the worst, because to me, a shadow puzzle is like literally a little flick of the wrist and then I'm done. So when they go wrong and you're out of position, I'm like, I have no idea how to solve this puzzle. I'm out now. I don't know what I'm doing. If the first movement don't work, I'm done.
Yeah, like the one up on in the bedroom later. If it goes wrong for me, that's it. It can take me at least a minute to fix. It's terrible.
Yeah, so the what is actually interesting is the other two are actually pretty forgiving, but the one up in the bedroom is really not. So if we were doing out of bounds here, we would have already skipped ahead to grab an item that's down in this cellar, and then the routing would be completely different. But Pear took basically the same way that you do it casually, but just doing it faster, and is nipping through now
Oh
to
God.
pick up the furnace room key. Oh. God, I've never seen all these guys. because of the slight difference in the routes we do, I don't ever see those guys, so they're stressing me out.
Oh my God. No, leave me alone.
Please be nice, Molded.
Okay, that's fine. We can deal with that.
Also, the Molded have a pretty generous cooldown on easy. We are playing on easy for reasons that did just because it's to be honest, the best run in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
If
quite
I had to throw
chilled.
it out there, you know, if I had to brush my own personal opinion. And we're grabbing the final dog head, and this finally leads us into Jack 2. And Pear, look on this one. Be finicky. It's all about hitting trigger points again. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, nice.
Come on.
Good recovery with the second shot there. Wow,
Yeah.
excellent fight so far. He really turned around quick as well, which is really good.
Come on.
So what we're waiting for here is we really want a certain line that says you're gonna die down here. That's what we're waiting for, because that's the final trigger point to say I'm dead. Once he says that line, yeah, there we go. You're going to die down here. And now we know he's dead. We just gotta wait for him to explode, and then we can obviously use chainsaw on metal because that's how life works. But Jack makes like a kipper and explodes. And I'm sure that's the end of him. We'll never see him again.
Oh yeah, totally. Never again. Much.
Poor Jack.
F's in chat for Jack.
Just got Ethan coming into his house and bullying him.
Such a bully, Ethan.
So we're just coming through now. We've collected all 3 dog heads, and this unlocks the kind of the second part of the game, I would say. Well, third part of the game if you count Guest House, but nobody should ever count Guest House because it's terrible. So this is technically, we're going to unlock the rest of the house now. We need to collect a final key from here, just so we can get through the door at the top of the stairs. And now we're going to turn around and input all our dog heads so we can get outside. We need to go speak to everybody, the evil villain of the RE7 game, which is Zoe.
Yeah, the wicked witch of the Baker House.
Yeah, the root cause of it all. Somebody in chat asked, "Are we the baddies?" And you know what? I don't know anymore. I'm confused. They invited us to dinner. All we did was not eat it.
I know.
Feels bad, man.
It's like sprouts at Christmas. You know, don't eat them. Upset your parents. It's not good.
What is it you need me to do?
So what Pear did there was she just wiggled inside the door, because basically the trigger is to go in and then out, and then the phone rings to get you to go back in. So what we do is we just run in, out, in pretty quickly, just to hit the trigger points as quickly as possible and get back out and trigger this phone call.
So on keyboard and mouse, people obviously will do that a lot quicker, but I'm using controller, so you'll notice some of what I'm doing is a lot slower than some of the top runners. So I'm just more comfortable on controller.
So if we get this thing,
Yeah, it's console-friendly strats. There is a console section for this game, which is locked to 60 as well, which is why we're seeing some slightly different strategies coming out here.
I just hope you can handle my
It's refreshing for me because I run on PC variable, so I see this is a completely new way to play the game to me, apart from what I've seen of other people's streams. So it's really interesting to see the differences.
I would love to be able to play it at variable, but I mean, I've tried, but my laptop just can't handle it. And it just goes choppy and horrible, and it's just a big mess. So,
yeah, it's a common issue people run into when trying to stream RE7 runs because variable's a little wild and chunks through all your available system power. And now we're going to go see everyone's favourite mom coming up. Section is actually my favorite section in the entire game. I really enjoy this section. It's the sort of I don't know what section. I don't know what the actual. I call it the old house, but I don't actually think that's what it's called.
I mean, it looks pretty old, so.
Yeah, I think I just call it the old house. But this is now the domain of
Good old Marge.
good old Marjorie. Probably, in my opinion, the grossest boss ever conceived for a video game.
Yeah. She's horrible.
Oh, nice. So what you saw there was a little 30 FPS damage manipulation. So as well as manipulating the hitboxes, it also affects doors, the frame rate you're in, and the ability of the sword to do damage. So if the sword does damage on a frame, because the sword ticks damage like every, I can't remember what the exact tick rate is, but it tick damage, it does like tick damage. And basically when you change to 30 FPS, the way those ticks are accounted for on the door change the way it hits it, and it destroys the spiders really quick, which allows you to walk through the door straight away. And for anyone who's ever got stuck on those doors, know how much of a pain they are if they start actually hitting you.
Oh yeah. Took me ages to work out how to do that little door trick, and yeah, I was so scared for a long time of doing it, and then one day it just sort of, clicked.
Yeah, once you get the spot, it's like kind of like inbuilt into your memory. Urkamus, you do not have to do the videotape, so yeah, you do not have to do any of them to complete the game. They are not required triggers. So this game, the reason this game is actually a lot of fun, at least to me personally, is it's actually relatively unbroken, apart from the one out of bounds. The game is so tightly locked down with flags and triggers that you need and are required to complete to get to the story. It means there's very little things you can actually skip in this game. Which means you have to just kind of play the game vanilla, apart from a few little bits of sequence breaking. You still actually complete every single checkpoint in the run to get the game to complete, which for a modern game is really rare. So it's nice to see, and it's a very interesting point about RE7 and how well designed it was.
Okay, that is the first time in weeks she has let me past without trying to get her bugs on me, so yay.
Yeah, it's actually a real pain if her bugs come out, because you have to kind of turn around and deal with them, because if you don't deal with them, they just cancel, they just knock you off this animation here, and then they hit you a few times, so you actually end up losing a hell of a lot of time overall if she aggroes you. So it's nice that she let you through. Thank you, Marge.
She's obviously in a better mood now after we didn't eat her dinner.
She's forgotten about that. It's fine. So now we're coming up to be honest, the game. This part is probably the first real part of the game, apart from when Jack walked through the wall, where this game really made me jump out my skin when I played it casually for the first time. So do you do the quick shoot in here with the G17?
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah, an interesting little quirk with only one gun in this game. I don't know if it's just something to do with the way the ADS is programmed, but if you spam ADS while firing the G17 in this game, your fire rate actually increases significantly, and it allows us to get enough shots off here to kill her really quickly. Just kind of try and catch your hand, but it can be a bit awkward. You just got to try and land can't remember what it was. It's like 5 shots or something.
Something like
Or
that,
two
yeah.
2 shots in an Albert. It's something like that. It's either like 5 or 6 G17 shots or like 3 shots in an Albert. But both are equally difficult, and it's kind of just easier just to use the one gun, in my opinion. Interestingly, Madhouse is way harder on that because you have to use the grenade launcher and then nail the Albert and then switch to the G17
Oh god.
to get a 2 quick kill. And it's really hard. Like, the timing is, there's just no difference to the
Wish you
timing.
could have warned me.
That sounds horrendous.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I haven't found any. Find out when
So
you
this
get
is actually our last mandatory
a
phone call of the run.
and an arm.
Apart from the ones, well, I guess technically the ones in the ship are skippable, apart from one of them. So,
I don't know about the arm, though.
but for this section of the game, this is like the kind of like the last mandatory phone call that we have to do with
Check the
Zoe.
second floor here.
And then we're off scooting a boot after this.
Meet me at the trailer if you find it.
Okay. So I'm gonna try lantern skip now, which yeah, could be fun.
Yeah. So do you want me to walk through quickly lantern
Yep.
skip?
Oh what?
Lantern skip, as you saw Pear there, she'll look at the ceiling and then she's gonna look. Yeah, the grate isn't gone.
Yeah.
So basically, what you could see there was the grate hadn't broken. That's how you can kind of
There
tell if
we
it's
go.
worked. So what you want to do is thingy, but
There we
Pear's gonna
go.
reset up. Nice. And there you go. So what we're trying to do there is this game has some wonky triggers, and just by looking at a trigger through the floor, we're able to. Wow, she's really motoring. God, she was off on one there. We were able to trigger that trigger through the floor, look up at the ceiling, and then what we do is we just drop straight inside. If you're doing it normally, you have to run all the way upstairs, all the way back down. I think you even have to run a little bit through the house, but and then that bit will eventually open up. But as you can see there, we just run up to the side of the hole, look at the ceiling, catch the trigger spot, turn around and dive down. And now we're into Marge, the boss fight. I'm gonna be quiet here
really?
so Pear can concentrate on this.
I was going for the window strat there and it just failed completely. So
Oh,
yeah.
I just saw you got grabbed. Oh, that's annoying. So the grab actually really slows down this fight because you can get so much damage done in that initial couple of seconds. It's just very, it's an annoying thing, but the fight continues on and you just kind of basically saw Marge to death is how it works. I've never seen her stuck on that table before, so that's pretty wild. What's she doing up there? Wow, that's weird.
Now we've got to find her. Where is she?
So yeah, you basically just use sound cues here to try and find her. It's just very annoying because you can just kill her straight up in the window if everything goes right. But if she grabs you like that, it basically ends any chance of being able to do that. So she's got a set amount of spawn points, and unfortunately, there's a lot of them. And she can kind of go to any of them. She just will not spawn at anywhere you're looking. So once she's spawned, she'll.
Oh, there she
you
is.
can just
Hi.
go find her. And unfortunately, because of the way all the little bits are, is
Got ya.
she can just kind of pop up anywhere. She's very annoying. So it's kind of a super annoying part of the run where she can just go anywhere once you've if you miss that first quick kill. But GG, good kill.
That was still pretty quick, you know, considering.
Yeah, no, it's good. Backup strats coming in clutch.
Now I'm lost. This way. There you go.
Yeah, it's amazing when you get out of position in this game. How disorientating it can be.
I practiced her earlier and it was going okay. Like she was still trolling me, but not quite to this extent. So I was still in the right area. But there it was just, yeah, crazy.
So now we're gonna nip back into Old House to complete one final objective. We need to grab an item from here. And then we're kind of just doing like a little bit of, we're doing like Old House, then sort of a second pass through Mansion. Some interesting little bits to do. But mostly we're just kind of checking off a lot of boxes now to get through to the next significant chunk of the game and get through to the Lucas section. which is one of the most interesting sections of the run. A lot of quirky areas, and it's a really good like area to show optimization in, because there's no real tricks that you can do. It's all just about getting it done as fast as possible and being as smooth and as quick as you can be.
I hate this room. It probably scares me more than the rest of the game put together. Just ugh.
Yeah, this entire section, this game has is incredibly well paced from a horror perspective. Like Capcom really did knock it out of the park with this game, and it's why it became my favorite RE game, and probably why I have thousands of hours in it now. more than I'd care to admit.
Guess this is it.
Yeah, I don't look at how many hours I've got.
So we're collecting some juicy arm now. Need
Oh,
juicy arm for serum, but as you do. God, Eevee really didn't, and we're starting to get our first views of kind of like the main protagonist of the run now. Which you know, suspiciously looks like a little girl, but I'm sure we'll find out more later. You know, no spoilers, chat, no spoilers. What makes this boss grosser than the others? Well, to put it bluntly, I don't know. Do you want to cover that one, Pear? What makes Marge 2 grosser than the others?
She has a beehive in a very unspeakable place. Is it a beehive? Something like that, isn't it? A
I think
bug
it's just like a nest
thing.
of bugs,
Just,
yeah.
ugh. And you
Just-
burst in. Horrible. And she lays eggs.
She does lay eggs, which is kind of a statement that, you know, you never ever want to say about a lovely lady like Marge.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the end of Old House now. Nipping back up. We're going to hit a trigger point on the side of the caravan here. So you're going to see Pear just like slap the booty of the caravan. And then we're going to continue on. And there's apart from there's going to be another slight route difference for me, at least here. I would have already collected the red key card because of Out of Bounds, which is the one sequence break that we have in this run. But Pear's going to go down here and grab it now. And you kind of got to loop through here a couple of times. And you're doing storage, Pear?
Yeah, because I've got too much stuff in there for picking up the key cards.
Yeah, I was going to say there's only one spare slot and you're carrying safety heals, so that makes sense. Because this bit literally, menuing in this game is also, it's kind of individualized to every different runner, which is kind of cool to see. Like, I've never seen anyone store items there, but Pear's running with a safe run and has heals, so she needs to store items there. And she stored 2 keys in, I think, the crank as well, because you don't kind of need them for this next little bit. So it's really interesting to see this variation. And nice, I didn't realize on 60 FPS you could slip past that guy, so that's pretty awesome.
I found that out earlier, of all things, so that's new on me.
That's a new one on me. But that the key pickup there is when we were talking about Zero D before. That is the single biggest time save from the censored, because you just don't go through the entire 20-second animation of putting your hand down the guy's throat and pulling out the key. So really like skips a gross section and just saves a lot of time. Brawler molded, really easy to kill with the circular saw. They're just like 1 tick of damage to the head. Perfect. GG's. And now these guys.
The biggest trolls in the game, those two, I swear.
They can be, when you're trying to go really optimally through here, they can be really they can really mess you up. So as you can see here, Pear went down, grabbed a key, and now she's gonna go get a blue, and then she's gonna go get the red key card. The sequencing here is a little different than I'm used to, but it's just to counter the fact that you don't have the red key card yet. And we're going to see the hardest shadow puzzle. Let's see how this goes. I know how to do it on mouse, but on controller it'd be pretty wild.
It's not
There we go.
fun on controller at all because the turn-in with the analog sticks is so slow. Even when you like
Yeah.
turn it up in the settings, it's yeah.
So when you do it on mouse, it's literally like a little curve up. That's all you have to do with
Yeah.
him. It's not too bad if you can get him in first time while you're still moving. So there's the first key card collected there. Now we need to go get the red key card. And we have to do a little clock puzzle. Bit of a random one. The enemies in here despawned, at least the one that hasn't been killed. And now we're going to loop through the basement for the last time. And then we have to wave goodbye to the house. So bye-bye, house. Have a nice day.
I won't be missing you, house. Until we get to the ship, at any rate.
I'm a little. I actually like ship. It's one of. I actually think it's a decent section. I know it's like heavily. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be a contentious opinion. I guess it's an unpopular opinion. A lot of people find the ship section a bit meh, to say the least. But I feel like it's a nice little section. It breaks up the game a little bit and really good casually. Like when you think about how the ship is designed and laid out, it's actually a masterclass in level design from a technical standpoint, and it's really awesome. So we're gonna see Per take it pretty easy with these guys. You can run past these guys, but honestly, it's just not worth it. Like, you know, unless you're really aiming for like world record pace runs, just kill them. It costs you a few seconds and it can save you so much time.
Yeah, because they can, the four-legged ones, they do so much damage, don't they? If they get to you.
Yeah. Certain animations can almost unlock you as well when there's two of them, so they can just basically just pound you down and just kill you before you can even do anything.
Ethan.
I do.
Now
like
we're.
this. I like this
Yeah,
guy.
It's one of the better cutscenes. This one like is really grim in my opinion. Like despite all the other stuff you've seen, I find this one pretty like stomach churning.
Yeah, if you don't like fingernails, guys, you might want to turn away in a bit.
She thinks this thing is special.
So coming up in the next section, Per, do you do the
No, Ethan.
I guess what have we got coming up? I'm trying to think if there's anything skip wise. I mean, this section is just an optimization section. We've got the bomb run where you've got 6 bombs to kill.
Yeah.
I think it's only 5 on easy actually.
I've been ducking under them if I can, just because after dying to them over and over again, I was like, right, no, I'm not even going to try and block them when I run into them. So
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Being nice and safe for marathon. I think we can. I think I could learn a lesson or two from you, Per. Given my previous experiences with this game as a marathon. YOLO does not work, guys. But yeah, this is also. I mean, despite unskippable cutscenes being a reason you might want to run this game, guys, you get a built-in toilet break for the run. Like, and what more do you need? What more do you need, guys?
What do you say?
that's a very good point, Mundy. Can we push to 4,200s? I think we can.
Fuck!
Yeah, definitely. We got this. So this is kind of a little bomb gauntlet here. Per's going to take it safe and scooter boot them and just get past them all. It is quicker to shoot them, but it's a lot safer to do it this way. Because if you miss a shot, because you never stop moving, and if you miss a shot, it's basically death. Especially when you're not at full health like Per is here. Are you gonna? Yeah, you're gonna shoot that one. Okay, nice. So you can just scoot under there and take the hit, but again, if it puts you into red, it costs you time, so it's just not worth doing. Are you going to store items here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what Pear's going to do here is she's going to store a load of items, because basically when we come back through to this bit here, we are going to... Basically, we're not allowed to enter the next section with anything we've collected in the game so far. We have to go in empty-handed. So Pear will run over to the item box here and store everything except the Albert, the infinite ammo, and the saw. And maybe...
And the shoes.
Can I quickly hop in my donation?
Go crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Urkamis, a game of $10 now, saying happy birthday. So of course that's related to the scene, the cutscene.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I was so confused, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Lucas. Yeah. Well, thank you for the $10, and that pushes us now to $4,110. So that's all going to Crisis. So thank you guys.
Let's go, guys. Woohoo! I'm excited. I think we got this.
We've totally got this.
I think Monday was right. 4,200 easy. So, interesting little, I guess, another pseudo boss fight. This game likes to throw little boss fights in with some empowered basic enemies in this game. So now we're gonna basically bump into our first bloated enemy. Don't know what to call them. I just call them the fat molded usually. I think that's just the ubiquitous name for them in the community. They're very very wonderful guys who love to vomit a lot. And Pear's going to start nailing him with shots into him. Basically aiming to get a certain amount of shots done to hit a damage threshold. Getting a little spicy here. Got the heals though. This is why we take the safety heals, so we can just get through.
There we go.
Kind of just aiming to knock him over here. Oh, that animation. The grab animation is actually really awful with these guys. They're super annoying. But damn, the guy's got no spine though. Holy moly. That's a cute little roll he did. So yeah, he was misbehaving. It was a little unfortunate there. The quick kill strat that you can do on him there is just 9 shots or 8 or 9 shots while he's in the elevator. Then 1 shot to the left leg will cause him to drop down and do the quickest death animation you can possibly get in ideal circumstances. It's quite difficult to do. And it's always super annoying when it doesn't go off like that, because he vomits and then you get stunned and then he does all sorts of stuff. Actually, it's an interesting point now. Madhouse actually spawns 2 of them, and it's a really interesting use of how the Neuro round works in the grenade launcher for that fight. And the fight is completely changed. It's one of the few fights that's actually completely different, Madhouse to easy, whereas most of the fights are just an extension. That fight is actually completely different on Madhouse because it spawns a whole extra enemy. And now we're in kind of like the Lucas puzzle section here. Incredibly, kind of like a chill section of the run, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel on it, Pear, but I'm just like, yeah, it's a nice chill section now.
Now I know what I'm doing with it, yeah.
Yeah.
After spending like an hour in here on my first run.
Yeah, there's so many. The interesting thing they did here is they put so many kind of like red herring puzzles that you just don't need to do or don't really even play any relevance. And there's loads of misleading little bits that you can spend ages in this room just doing them, and they just don't really mean anything or do anything. So what you'll see here is the quickest possible route in to get through this room and get the candle through the door there. So we can skip all these puzzles and we just come straight here. And we're coming through. Always love this little puzzle. Really difficult casually because it doesn't really give you any hints on it, but basically you just tap 5 in any direction and it'll get you to the answer loser. Which is basically, it's just on the opposite side, so winners on one side and losers on the other, which was a cute little design. thing they put in. And we grabbed a little crank here so we can turn off the water, and that's going to allow us to say happy birthday.
The best cake ever. I want
Does
this
look
cake
good,
for
doesn't
my
it?
birthday.
That'd be a sick idea. Imagine getting this cake for your birthday. Like, I'd be so hyped if I got a cake like this. I'd be like, somebody knows me really well.
The temptation to make one for my birthday next month is very real.
Yeah, I want to see pictures, Per.
All over Twitter.
So, interesting little thing you can do there. Where you basically pull the board off and grab the bomb. I'm not sure. I was always told it was quicker to grab the bomb than pull off the board, but don't quote me on that. I'm sure somebody told me that once, and I've always done it that way. But I mean, you're talking like, if it is quicker, it's going to be a fraction of a second quicker. Like, you're talking like 0.2 seconds or something like that. So it's just a random little thing. It might have been Zeke. And shout out to Captain Ezekiel, who's coming up in the next run as well. Absolute legend. Taught me so much about this game.
Yeah, looking forward to that run. Bit of village to round the event off. It's going to be awesome.
So, coming up to what I think objectively is the hardest boss mechanically in the game. Even though Marge can be difficult, she's kind of like, you can kind of stun lock her and, just get her through her phases and get her out. She can take some time, but this is, Jack 3 is generally the hardest, I think.
Gone past
boss in the game. Because he's just got a lot of things you need to do. He's got, God, how many eyes is there?
1, 2, 3.
God, I can't remember how many
6,
eyes
I think.
he's got.
Is it 6?
Yeah, he's got a fair chunk. He's got one on his face, one on either arm.
Tail, undertail.
Yeah, he's got
belly.
2 on the tail. He might have 6 or 7. God, I should actually know this. I've only played this game like
Oh God!
hundreds of times.
Go away.
So now you've got to run a little gauntlet here to get back through. It's mostly just ignore everything. Oh God. That's why the Circulosaurus, as you can see, the Circulosaurus superior for dealing with crawlers. They're so annoying, and for some reason their hitboxes versus the Circulosaur is so wildly different to the hitboxes when you shoot them. It's pretty crazy. We get the final guy. Didn't know you could actually scoot around him. I always shot him in the head. So learn something new every day, guys. Learn something new every day.
Do you have both ingredients?
Right here.
So something that was relatively recently discovered here was that if you nip back downstairs and like stand at a certain point, you can actually trigger a sort of AI behavior that means Zoe actually gets the serum ready faster, gets the vaccine done a little faster, or the neurotoxin, whatever it's called, that she creates. Probably shouldn't call it a vaccine.
Pick Zoe.
I know. No, we don't. Nobody likes Zoe.
No.
Who? I don't know her, Zoe.
She doesn't go here.
Zoe doesn't belong. It's really interesting though. Like the Zoe Mia choice was super random because, as far as I'm aware, like for a mainline game, it's like really weird that they put a non-canonical timeline in. That basically follows the same timeline as the real timeline. So it's really insane. Because imagine playing this game, saving Zoe, and then being like, oh, I'm going to be quiet here while Per does this, because this is an annoying fight.
Come on.
To pop them out. So just quickly, the objective here is for Per's going to try and pop all these eyes as quickly as possible. Mostly using the Circulosaur. We'll have to use the gun on some of them, they're just not reachable. Jack can be a little memey here.
That's putting it mildly.
Basically, he has this annoying habit where he can just trap you in a corner and you just can't get to any of the eyes.
No. Now you can get this one like that. There you go. That should be it.
Yeah, so
Is
it
it?
was one cycle. He didn't go up, I don't think, unless his tail eye's still up.
No? There we go. That's probably the best I've done him in quite a long time.
No, it looked pretty solid. Basically, the whole aim is to just try and sequence the eyes as quickly as possible and get through them without missing any, or without like having to travel too much distance with him.
Now, I've seen everything.
And now we're on to the infamous choice.
This way.
Choice of champions, and I know Per will make the correct decision
Oh yeah.
and pick Tom Parno.
It's got to be Tom, you know. Save Tom. The others can go away.
Yeah. So yeah, just one little final thing here. Inject Jack in the eyeball, because everyone loves a good eyeball injection. And we are on our way to... how do you feel about the ship, Per? What's your feelings on ship?
Yeah.
For a very long time, I hated it because I kept getting lost. But once you know the routing of it, it's not that bad, really.
No, exactly. It's one of those things that it's like I was saying before about the design of the whole area. It's so confusing, but it kind of extends this small area and makes you having to really like think and go back and stuff. But you're gonna see Per absolutely tear it to shreds and just go and rock through it. Are we doing any of the skips in this section, Per?
I'm gonna try.
Zoe.
You're gonna try, nice. So there's two skips. I guess we'll mention them when we get a little closer to them. But there is two skips that we do on ships. So I say skips like we're doing glitches or anything. We're just kind of manipulating the game a little bit to skip some cutscenes. We're not really doing anything crazy.
I'll send help.
Don't bother.
And one of them is literally just a little get through a door quicker. Yeah, we got Mia. Team Mia hype. Let's go.
Hashtag Team Mia. Oh yeah.
And now we kind of going into cutscene central again. Got a nice little, well, about a minute and a half, maybe 2-minute cutscene. I've tried. I can make a cup of tea in this time as long as my kettle's not too full. That's what I've learned.
It's a bit warm for a cup of tea, though. Else I'd ask hubby to put the kettle on for me.
Ethan?
Very nice, but yeah, I mean, not long. It's a little warm tonight. Got the window thrown open. Got a nice breeze coming in though.
Mia, I know you've been through a lot.
Someone in chat says Team Ada. Oh no. The less I say about Ada, the better. Especially as we're in polite company, so...
I just want to know the
Oh,
truth.
not an Ada fan.
Oh no.
Ethan.
My community will tell you exactly how much I dislike her.
Is that the boat? How the fuck did that get here? Oh, you're okay.
So coming up now, we're going to do a little character swap here, which is an interesting little thing. Now that we've abandoned Zoe, haha. We're going to do a little body swap, and we're going to go into Mia, and we're going to go play as Mia for for about 10-15 minutes. I think I can't remember how long the section is. I haven't actually run this game in about a month now. I'm a bit out of practice, Per.
Do you know what? After tonight, I think I'm going to be putting it down for a little while, for sure. All the practicing I've been doing.
Yeah, I think marathon burnout is a thing.
Oh yes. Back
So
on that
it's not-
village. Right.
That's the big one. So we switch characters here at the minute. We've left Zoe. Life is good. We're now playing as Mia, everybody's favorite, no question. And now we're just going to aim to move through the ship. Ship, as Per was saying before, is very confusing. It's like 3 layers stacked on top of each other, with a little bit like above it and below it as well. So it's just incredibly confusing overall, and not a lot of fun. Very frustrating, but we're going to see Pet absolutely fly through it. She needs to do a couple of triggers here where we have to go through a flashback to find out how Eve or Evelyn actually escaped, and do a few bits and bobs. So, but now we just got to run through the broken down ship until Mia finds a tape.
Trudging through the water. Doesn't look very hygienic, does it? You know, cut yourself on this, you'll get very poorly.
Not Ethan though. Ethan's an absolute mad lad. He don't care. I know we're playing as Mia. God.
We are.
I just forgot the thing I spoke about like literally 30 seconds ago. Until I'm getting tired, guys. So yeah, ship sections kind of a love it or hate it in the community. I think most people err towards not liking it. I'm a fan of it. I think it's a nice section. There's a lot to optimize here. It's all about the movement really. Like you've got to have smooth movement. There's nothing really too crazy going on apart from the aforementioned skips that we got going on before, which will be called. They both got very exciting names. One's called phone skip and one's called bomb skip. They're basically exactly what they say on the tin. One skips a phone call, and one kind of uses a bomb to skip another phone call. So you know, we don't like phone calls. We don't want no phone calls, guys.
Nope.
We just wanna run everywhere.
Or crawl, in Mia's case right now.
It's gotta have a good vent crawling scene. So just a note there, if you have the game loaded onto a M.2 drive, it's actually an M.2 only skip, an M.2 SSD. Basically, you can retry as you're dropping down those ladders there, and if the game can load fast enough, you can actually save a little bit of time there by retrying, because it hits a checkpoint as you fall down, and it retries and it sets you a little bit down the corridor and saves you skipping a fall animation and a little bit of running. Just interestingly enough on that little section, but that is literally an SSD only skip, even, which is kind of crazy. Bit of a weird one. This game actually has a lot of retries in it if you're playing for world record and with top end hardware. So you can actually, I think there's about 6 retries in total, but for the most part, most of the community only do 2 or 3.
Yeah, the main ones. Oh, go on.
I saw that poser just for a $5 donation from Spikey saying, Peralt, this girl is true wife material. Would be a dream to have a wife that plays Resident Evil. So big compliments to you there.
Aw, thanks.
Wait!
And thank you for the donation.
Going towards Crisis, helping out the homelessness guy. So thank you. Cheers for the donation.
Okay. So we're going to go up and see the creepy Evelyn.
Yeah, this the ship section is where you really learn a lot about who the real sort of antagonist, I guess, for the entire sort of game, and who's like been pulling all the strings behind the scenes. Because up until this point, you just think you're dealing with a crazy family, but now you kind of start to understand the more bioweapon implications of everything that's going on. And you're not just dealing with like an extremely angry man and his family. You kind of get to explore why things have been going the way they have. Also, I'd just like to do a shout out to RE7's DLC, because hands down, some of the best DLC for any game I've ever played. It's just incredible, like every little bit, from the story-based ones to the more fun and silly ones.
I think End of Zoe is probably my favourite out of all of them, just because it's so cathartic to
but it serves
beat
me.
the hell out of everything with your bare fists, you know?
Yeah, it is your fault.
Joe Baker is
That
actually
doesn't mean I'll
one of
let
the
you
most
go.
underrated characters. He's so awesome. He
She didn't attack
just goes through it. It's like you say, yeah, you just beat the crap out of everything with fists. You know,
believe
Punch
this
Daddy
is
comes in
happening.
and we're just like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Take it. It has her tissue samples.
Alan,
So,
the real evil. Ugh.
Fix this.
Oh, nobody likes Alan either.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of people we
Where
don't.
are
Well, I'm actually just saying everybody doesn't like them, but actually I don't like them. I'm going to assume Peralt agrees with me.
Oh yeah.
I'm just slowly changing opinions one marathon at a time. Just on a propaganda and slur campaign against Zoe and Alan. It's my goals. So we're coming up to the first skip here. So what we're going to see is Pear grab the walking boots, which allow us to, it makes this next skip a lot easier. She's going to open the doors, she's going to walk back, she's going to activate a trigger here, and then try to leave this room as quickly as possible. And what that should do, yes, well done. So what that does is it skips an entire phone call that locks us in the room with Alan, because nobody likes talking to Alan, for obvious reasons. And we just carry on here, coming in. So yeah, really well done. Got the first of the big skips down. Saves you like 15 seconds. It's actually a pretty significant time save. Well done, Pear.
Like, get out
Now
of my
we're gonna
lift. Go. Oh no. Go away.
This guy in the lift is super annoying. You can actually do some really awesome, like, John Wick level of shot on him.
Yeah.
Where you shoot him falling from the ceiling, but it's real hard. And you have to hit the right body part as well while he's dropping out
Oh,
the ceiling.
God.
It's super ridiculous. Like, I've done it once, but if you hit it, you hit him when he drops down, and then you shoot him in his left leg, and he just instantly dies. But as I said, it's so hard to do like that. That is like crazy when I see people nail it like time after time. I'm just like, what? It's literally a reaction test.
Oof.
I'm
I'm quite
now
slow on things like that, so... Oh.
We're going to be coming up to bomb skip now.
Oh.
So this is all about bomb placement. You're going to watch Pear place a bomb just beyond this door, and she needs to be placing it really central, and it's I like kind of a distance from the door. That looked pretty good.
I tend to
say
YOLO it, so...
Yeah, I usually tend to put it too close. It's my problem. So to me, that looked a little far, but I know I tend to put it too close in my runs. And Zeke's always like, dude, put it just you don't need to put it down so close. So I think actually you might be okay there. It was central enough. It was definitely central enough. So it's a very precise little skip there. And it's all about the bomb placement. And to be honest, if you place it wrong, it's kind of a bit of a disaster because it puts you down into a health state, and then you've got to kind of run a bit of a gauntlet in that health state. If you take it safe, you're not likely to die, but, you know, safe is usually slow, and we don't want to be going slow, and when you're just trying to YOLO it, you know, taking that bomb hit, then taking a random slug off one of the molded is, can lead to basically death.
Oh, no.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to assume it didn't work. Did it just knock you to the ground?
It's fine. It's completely fine.
It still opens the door up a little bit faster. Even if it does that knockdown animation, it doesn't blast you through the door. So what we'd like there is for the bomb to just stagger us and to push our body into the door.
I think I
'cause if it
probably
just-
hit to blow it up a little bit too early, maybe.
Yeah, it's important to be stood in the door when you do it, otherwise your animation doesn't push the door open. I think you did just pull the trigger a tiny bit too soon. But not the end of the world. As I said, you got the kind of like the... It's still faster than not doing it because the phone call gets you stuck there for ages. So even if you get the full knockdown, the only real difference is it's a little bit slower and it puts you into a worse health state. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a few seconds. But you basically saw the skip there in all its glory. And that's kind of like, I would say that's kind of like the difficult part of Ship Over now, but you've got a lot of stuff you still need to do. Like, that's kind of like the flashback area kind of done with, and we get to see the one skippable cutscene, or we don't get to see it, I should say. We got a little bit of a course to run first. To get back upstairs to find Alan and Evelyn. See what they're doing. They're just chilling upstairs.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, this guy's a little cheeky. The one who pops out from around the corner. Ooh. Oh my god. He actually reached you from there?
I know.
Wow, that's pretty wild. He must have rotated a lot with you. Like, the molded here in this game really suffer from a slow rotation. So if you can just push past them, they're kind of not a threat, but sometimes they just end up, when you push past them, you rotate them, and they can just, like, wind up an attack. And because if they start winding up an attack when you run into them, if you rotate them, they basically always finish the attack, and there's one, like, super large sling attack they can do, which, like, must have been the one he did then.
Well, it's a good thing I'm already dying.
Don't.
And thank you for all the donations, guys. You've all been amazing.
Thank you so much. You've done amazing this weekend. I'm really proud of you all. Thank you.
Trust me. Okay. Evie, no, Evie.
Alan,
Also,
I
well
think
done, Pear. I know this is your first marathon, and you're smashing it.
Oh, thank
Doing well.
you.
You got this.
You can't see it, but my hands are shaking. They're not really.
Oh, bless you.
Evelyn, stop! Stop right now!
So Alan's getting his just desserts here, and you know, the world is righting itself. We're starting to find out a lot about Evelyn's, the true extent of Evelyn's powers now are really coming to the fore. But part of Evelyn's psyche is that Evelyn was actually a child manipulated from birth with this mold. That we learn a lot more about in RE8 Village, which you'll see coming up next. But basically, this is a modified version of the mold that's in that game, and Evelyn is the byproduct of how they plan to control the mold. But she's obviously still a child, and like this childish nature to her actually is what keeps Ethan and Mia alive for the most part, because she actually sees them like she wants to have a family, and she sees Mia as the mother and Ethan as the father, and like Jack as the granddad and stuff. So it's a really interesting psychological take for an RE boss.
It's quite heartbreaking as well, really, because, you know, in a way, I think she's as much of a victim as the Bakers, really. 'Cause, you know, she born as the bioweapon, and she didn't ask for that. All she wants is the family, and it's quite sad.
Yeah, the whole thing is very warped. Because you actually find out in not this cutscene now, but in a minute we see a bit of a new take on what actually happened with the Baker family as well, which is big F's. But at this point, Evie is just twisted, and obviously the trauma of everything has left her very damaged, and you know it kind of really comes out. I think chat nailed it when I was saying Evie just wants a hug. So that's a true statement. I've been through this game a lot, and I know the game inside out, and I would agree with that statement.
I'm not sure I would want to hug her though, because, you know, she might infect me. So
I mean, it kind of worked out okay for Ethan.
kind of, maybe.
We ain't dropping RE8 spoilers here.
No spoilers. No. What's RE8 again? I haven't played it.
So now we're kind of on tidy up. We got to collect some stuff, do some things. We got to fix the elevator first of all. So we've come back to present day. We've come out of the little Evie side dream that she sets up so that you can remember exactly what happened. We now know that Mia was working with, oh god, I always forget the name of the organization.
the connections, I think
The
it is.
connections, yeah. I always want to call them the business, and I don't know why. It sounds like so stupid. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna call them the business. I don't know why I want to call them that. It's so silly. Are we gonna go for God Door here, Pat?
No, because I don't know what that is.
All right, okay. So there's a thing you can do there, where Pairs picked up some safety items there, but usually in this section, at least when you're pushing for world record, you wouldn't pick up any items there. And what you can do is it's like you get like it's super tight, but if you open the door at the correct moment, you can get in and out of that room before the door closes.
Oh, really?
And it actually pushes you through, and it saves you like 2 seconds. It's a
Interesting.
super high level strat that you only really do if you're pushing for like sub 130. Like it's not really. I don't think it's very console or controller friendly really, because you have to like quick turn.
Yeah, I'm not quite at that level yet. Maybe one day.
Jack of Hearts in chat says, "Is this related to Plagus or is this a new thing?" It's actually an entirely new thing. Similar vein though. They're trying to use a molded to control the minds of the hosts. God, you're getting a lot of questions, Per. Do you want me to read them out?
It's alright, I know what they're doing. It's a bit of an in-joke. That's all I'm going to say.
Nice.
I'll get you back for that, Matt. Don't you worry. And you, Archimus.
Right, so we're collecting an item here. Really annoying how this item works. I don't know why they thought they'd just do this one like this.
God.
It's super annoying to do this one like this. But we grab everything. Looks like you made it out okay.
He didn't want to let me out okay, that's for sure. They do move quite quickly when they want to. Oh, that one.
And there we go. So we're actually at the very end of the ship section now. We're all nearly done. Not much really. It's just a case of running down to the basement now and entering the world's saddest cutscene.
Make sure you've got your Kleenex ready, guys. You might need it. Ooh.
I'm happy to see chat's backing the no RE6.
Yeah. RE6? Who's that? She doesn't go here. We don't know her. Oh, God. Let me buy. Thank you.
These guys are always a little bit... Oh, yeah, that one pinned you for a little bit longer than comfortable. Oh, they were all a little out of position there. So usually that you get past the first one a little quicker, which means you do a specific route around the second one. But they were kind of a little bit both out of position there, which kind of blocked Per in, which meant that she was out of the cycle. But still got through okay, so GG on that one. Making it through. And now we're entering kind of the final cutscene of the game before we move on to like the action-packed ending, I guess you would say. I'm gonna go get the action.
What do you mean?
And yeah, big F's for Jack, guys.
Neither is Marguerite, nor my boy Lucas, or even Zoe here. That girl Evelyn, she did this.
What the hell is she? No, what did she do to you?
Yeah, this is so sad.
She infected us with her gift. That's what she calls it. I found her near a busted out tank in the bayou. Everything changed after that.
Sorry, I just went to get a
She
water.
infects you and then she takes
Yeah.
control? No. Not exactly, son. She just...
I'm glad to see Cap knows
She
this is
forces
final
her way
bladder
into your
check.
mind, your soul. You can't
I
fight
like
back.
the lamp on the table is like
You are
showing
connected to
Marge
her.
in a way, I think.
Yeah, no,
This
that
the
is you're
urge to-
perfectly correct. That's actually the representation of Marge in the room.
Oh,
It's a little weird
real different person.
how Zoe's in there,
Just
since
like me.
Zoe hasn't really been claimed by the molded yet, and there's no Lucas. But technically, neither of them were claimed by the molded yet, so it's kind of weird. But it's an interesting cutscene and really explains the sort of what happened to them. And if you play the Daughters DLC for this game, you'll feel even more sorry for the Bakers, because you find out that Jack's actually the nicest man in the world. Didn't deserve any of this.
He's lovely, isn't he? I want him to be my granddad. I love him to bits.
Yeah, Marge can put on a spreads by the looks of it, so I'd be there.
Stay away from him.
Why? He doesn't love you. I can make
It's always
him
that
love
Matt
you.
RPD in chat causing a ruckus. I see him.
Silly, I told you I'm not.
Oh yes. Troublemaker Matt RPD. We see you.
You're not my mom.
Can I say a donation?
Remember?
Yeah? Loads of time.
Anonymous. $150. Big money here. Another great Resident Evil speedrun for an awesome cause. Thanks so much to the runner and commentator for keeping the chat informed and entertained while we save Mia. Hashtag Team Mia. So wherever you are, thank you for the massive donation that is going to go towards Crisis and their fight against homelessness. So very appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Anonymous, thank you.
Take this.
Do love a good anonymous. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. I'm hyped now. Let's go. Now we can hit 4.3k.
Oh, hell yeah. By the end of the run, let's go. Come on, guys. We got this.
But seriously, that's crazy. That's crazy generous. So
Yeah, thank
whoever you
you.
are, you're awesome. Keep doing good stuff. So, and now we're coming up to everybody's favorite section, mines. I don't know how you feel about mines, Per. I'm assuming you haven't set up to do the item trick, where you don't take any. You just grab the grenade launcher and run down, or do you grab all the items
Oh, I
before you
grab
go down?
the
okay.
items, yeah.
So, there's an interesting thing you can do. It's only really done in like the super high-end runs, but basically, from the moment we go in this game, you will be manipulating your inventory for this moment in the run. So for the entire game, we'll have been storing and picking up items in a very specific way so that we can pull off a trick right now. And that's where we would head down to mines with just the grenade launcher. So we'd have to dodge everything up until the point of picking up the neurotoxin just with one grenade launcher shot. That's all we'd have. And the reason we would be doing that is to get through so we can just basically not waste any time picking up items here, but pick them up while the neurotoxin is being made, so that we're kind of like you doing two things in the time rather than just doing one thing here and then one thing down at the bottom. So we're basically trying to use dead time, and we set up our inventory throughout the whole run to achieve that. It's super wild. About when you think about it on a high level, the fact that everything we do up until this point all leads to a certain outcome. And Pear just grabbing all the items she needs there, looking good.
Ooh.
So as you can see now, we've got the grenade launcher, which is the first time I think on New Game Easy we're going to see it used. Which is a case of running past all these fellas, and hopefully they don't come into the lift, because that's kind of run ending. When they do, it's super annoying. I'm not sure what the exact cause is. We'll probably have to ask Zeke when he comes on for his run for a different game. But basically, I think what happens is when you cross the threshold of the lift, if a molded hits you, it basically pulses a hitbox across a threshold that it can't cross otherwise, and that breaks the threshold for whatever reason, and the zombies can just enter the molded can just enter the lift willy-nilly after that. Which is really crazy and just pretty nuts that the game would be programmed like that. And we're just scooting through. As you can see, everything and this run on Madhouse, this section is terrifying because if you by some miracle got to this point on PB, it's super hard. This bit is just crazy. Like, you cannot miss a shot. Here it's just wild. On easy, it's not so bad because you can have the benefit of the Albert and stuff, and it can get you out of a lot of situations. Which is really nice. And the circular saw is also just, you know, it's just really the best thing on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so good. So we're coming through, just blowing up a couple of bombs through this section. Nothing too crazy. Just gonna come through. We're in the mines now. And now we're gonna, this is the bit where if you were doing the other strat, what you'd do is you'd open this, you'd put in the blood sample you collected from Zoe or Mia earlier, and then you would you'd run and grab some items. But since Pear's already got the items, she's just gonna wait here and pick up the neurotoxin, which is what we're gonna hopefully go stabbing Evie's little head if we can, you know, get close to her. But who knows if we do or not.
If she trolls me like she did last time, then we probably won't.
Yeah, there's a little bit at the end of this run where you kind of have to like get past Evie and finish her off. But oh my god, if you mess it up, it's just so heartbreaking, especially if you're on PB pace, because it's just really kind of like, it's easy, but it isn't. I don't know if anybody gets that. Pat, I don't know if you know what I mean. It's kind of like easy, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Because you waste time if you take it really too safe, and you actually don't gain anything if you take it too safe. So we're going to see a final retry there. That's again to, because we're currently classed as outside coming from indoors, we want to get a speed boost instantly. So we're going to get outdoor speed boost here. So we're moving a lot faster. And Pear's just going to basically aim to not stop moving up this slope.
Oh, God. There we go.
The slower you take it, the safer it gets. And this guy's usually a pain at this little bit, which I think is where Pear had an issue. And not too bad. You squeeze past. Squeeze past. We got this. Now we get a little boop. It's interesting to see Pear's approach up here because mine is completely different. I think every runner does this section a little bit differently. And an interesting thing there, because Pear didn't kill a lot of the molded further down, the game actually has a spawn limit on the molded. So there should be 2 molded that spawned at the top there, but there was only 1. And now what Pear's going to do is she's going to hit these guys with a stun. So these guys are stunned by the neuro round. And she's just going to climb up before they recover. And we can just skip that entire section. So well done. That's kind of the last major sort of point where the run can really go awry. Now we're going to run back up into the house. And it's just kind of a case of ticking off a few more checkboxes. And then we're going to be pretty close to the end of the game.
Yeah, it's certainly getting there.
I'm sure of it.
How do you feel the run's gone, Pear?
Apart from the odd mistake at the start, but which I'll put down to nerves, you know, I think it's gone all right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty solid. March was a little bit of a trickster, but he had a good Jack 3, good Jack 1, good Jack 2, actually, really good Jack 2. It's been a pretty solid run overall. It's been nice because I haven't seen the run in a while, so I feel like, oh no, Pear.
I know.
I hate those. I just saw the door. I was like, no, don't do it. You just, honestly, guys, you're just hitting the buttons. Like, you're just kind of spamming buttons, and you're not even thinking about what you're doing. You're just hitting use and accept, because it's kind of what I do when I'm just running down. And so I'm just spamming. I use Q and E on the keyboard, and I'm just hitting it, and it's really stupid because you just close the door on yourself, and you're like, oh god, why? It's like a kick. It's like a little kick in the nuts.
Like I knew right as I got there and I was like mashing X, I was like, oh no, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's one of those things you just don't think about, and you just get you. It's gotten me a few times.
And then maybe you'll play nicely.
I'm not.
Now, we're just trying to make our way out of the house, but we're kind of hunting for Evie here. And now Evie knows we've got the toxin, and she's kind of like, oh no, run away. But at this point, Ethan's getting a little overtaken by the molded, which is why he's starting to see hallucinations all over the place.
Stay away!
You see like little flashbacks everywhere from where we were earlier.
Come
And now,
on. Ah!
here we go. So the trick with this bit is to block correctly. You gotta block it just the right times. If you get knocked to your feet, it's just super bizarre. And it should be fine now. It's gonna be 2 and then stab. Nice. Really well done.
Yeah, it's not often, but I have got a 1 cycle there before, so it can be done on 60 FPS and console, but you know, I think you just have to go for it, don't you?
Yeah, it's kind of like it helps if you swing to the right as well. So if you swing to the right, you kind of don't even need to be near it. It's super weird. The trigger line for it is kind of like a straight line, but I think it actually curves a little bit. So if you're off to a side slightly, you can actually hit that a little bit faster and get it done in 1 cycle, which is super swag when you pull it off. For some reason, I've not been able to do it for ages, but I think it's just because I'm out of practice. And now we're coming up to a little bit. This bit looks way more terrifying than it actually is, because the circular saw, being the absolute badass that it is, just stun locks her to death here, so she can't actually do anything. GG, well designed, Capcom.
Probably
I think
the easiest boss, I think.
Yeah, I think this was definitely designed with the VR spectacle in mind, because people kind of forget that this game was partly programmed with VR in mind, which is kind of why some of the design choices in the UI and stuff and how the game works is a little bit different, and why the bosses like just generally are a lot more static than I would say than most other arena-based bosses that you see throughout the RE franchise.
Yeah.
Some interesting quirks to do with the VR anyway, that you can see the design influence from VR had on this game, and I think it was definitely really well implemented as well. The fact that they made it a first-person game and a VR game was an incredible achievement. Very technically impressive, this game. Oh, do we have another donation? Has it gone up again?
I think it
Only
has.
another £10 for 4.3.
Yeah, it has. Just let me refresh it all. Here we go. So, Urkamis again, $25. We've got, he says, tenner to 4,300. Let's go. So yeah, we're getting there. Almost there. Tenner, $10 away from 4,300. So again, that's supporting Crisis. So thank you for the donations, and hopefully we can do that last little push to get there.
Woohoo!
And there we go.
Yeah, there we go. That's basically GG's. Well done, pair.
Thank
so
you.
Interesting little thing, if you don't move the mouse on that boss fight, it's actually the fastest way to kill it, just to fire and not do anything.
Oh.
A
I
little bit
missed
of
the
thing
first
there.
shot. I hit her wiggly arm thing, so that's why it took a few more shots than normal. But yeah, time. So thank you guys.
No, well done. That was awesome. GG.
Thank you. That was fun. I enjoyed that. So yeah, there we go. That's actually not bad. And we're underestimate as well, so even better.
Oh, always a good sign.
Yeah.
Always a good sign. Love it. Well done.
Thank
It
you.
was a really good fun. And thank you for having me commentate. It's a lot of fun.
No, thank you for agreeing to come and hang out for this. It's been an absolute joy to have you. So, and thank you to UKSG for accepting my run when I put it in. So, and thank you to everyone for your donations as well tonight. It's amazing. Well done, everyone. Thank you.